Hello, everybody across the world. This is Alma Rivera speaking. We are speaking to you from South Africa, and I am the instructor in South Africa and Africa, and hopefully the rest of the world pretty soon. Today, we're speaking to beautiful Clinton Ngobe, who is from KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa. So, Clinton, how are you today?
Alma, I'm doing great. Thank you for the opportunity, and hello to everyone across the world. I hope you are joining us and enjoying this talk as much as we are. Thank you.
Good. So let's just dive in and tell us, how did PSYCH-K find you?
Wow. It literally did find me, to be honest. PSYCH-K came at a point where I was so tired of trying everything else, because each time I tried the things that were recommended to change my beliefs and my subconscious mind and so on, they often felt so exhausting and frustrating. And I had the sense of there must be something easier. So this one time I'm driving to the Drakensberg for the weekend, and I downloaded this lecture from Dr. Bruce Lipton kept it about 2 months. So I didn't have the time to sit down and watch it for 2 hours, but the drive there is 2.5 hours. So I just played it as I drove and I listened to it. And somewhere during the middle or towards the end, he mentions PSYCH-K along with some other principles and tools. And I felt drawn to PSYCH-K because of the ease of it and the simplicity. There was just something about it. And I got back home, researched it, and I found the PSYCH-K website and a couple of facilitators in South Africa, and you were there as well. So we communicated, and here we are.
Here we are. So, in your own words, what is PSYCH-K?
PSYCH-K for me has been a way for me to communicate with my subconscious mind with the purpose of making changes. That's what it's been for me. I feel I have a greater relationship with my subconscious mind compared to any other tool that I've ever used. So more than reading and understanding, it's a belief change model and tool, but I've really been able to communicate with my subconscious mind with it. And that's what stands out for me, because any other tools, it seems like you're just telling yourself repetitively something, but with PSYCH-K, it's like I'm building this sort of bond with my subconscious mind, and I'm aware of it. So that's what it's been for me, a way to communicate with my subconscious mind to make changes.
Fantastic. Because we know that if you keep on repeating it cognitively, it's just not going anywhere, is it?
No, you just end up so silly, you know? It's like, I am rich. No, you're not. I am rich. No, you're not. So it's like, I can't do that anymore.
So how has your life changed on, all the levels, mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, since you've been working and using PSYCH-K?
That's a big question, But the thing that sticks into my mind the most is I find now that I have settled into my life. And if there was another word, I'd say grounded. I'm now living my life from a conscious level, really being the driving force of it, than feeling like I'm being taken on a ride, and my spiritual and like especially spiritual, because it's also has a spiritual element to it. I feel closer to God, or closer to the source of all this energy, this consciousness, because I feel I've opened up more doors and layers to that sphere. And psychologically, I'm more settled. I don't have extreme highs or extreme lows. I'm on a gradual curve. And PSYCH-K gives you an overall understanding and feeling that everything in life is okay. And if it's not, you have the power to make changes. So when you have that, if something shows up and it's fascinating, or it's something that feels uncomfortable, you don't feel like there's nothing you can't do. Instead, you ask yourself, why is this here? What is it that has drawn this energy about me? So when you have all of those ideas and those methods and that understanding, you overall feel very, very comfortable with your life, and you dream bigger, you dream
Ah,
more. That's the thing, right? If all is possible, if I believe, and I can believe, I can use this tool to believe, then what is the limit?
indeed, because there really isn't any limit to anything, but we are taught that, we are limited. And yeah, so psyche is almost like that spiral, that takes us wider and deeper and bigger. And yeah, like you say, now everything is possible. Very empowering.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what I wanted to also talk to you about is, it has given me an understanding of time as well. Like, understanding that the changes that I make happen and manifest at the right time. And I've shifted from this whole stressful notion of I am stressed or frustrated because I want things to be this way, to I have made things to be the way I want. Now it'll happen and manifest as I need it to, or as I progress. So that's something also which is very important, I feel.
Yes. And then also, how has your relationships been? Has there been any growth within your relationships?
Yes, yes. There are so many things, but my relationships have been the most important to me. The reason being is two primary examples. My romantic relationships have improved because now I have this great relationship with myself, and great this way. I've always had this fear that if I got into a relationship with a woman, she would ultimately somehow find a way to cheat or be unfaithful to me. And I also come from a culture where having many wives is supported. But the thing is, my belief was that if I have many partners, they will ultimately be unfaithful to me, as I am sort of being unfaithful to them, even though there's this cultural thing that makes it right somehow. But with Psyche, I was able to realize this thing and realize that there's this belief that I had, and I had to make a choice to better the relationship with myself, faithful to myself, and loyalty to myself, to really understand what that means to me and make those changes. Then ultimately, I realized that there are people out there, which I have found now, who can be faithful to me as I want to be faithful to them. So that would have been an idea that I've never been able to accept or see if I wasn't able to use Psyche to make those subconscious changes. And the other thing is my relationship with money, which has been a real proper struggle, because I came from a background that said money is the root of all evil, and we all know that famous one. So how is it, what kind of person does it make me if I want to accumulate a lot of this evil thing, which would ultimately make me evil too, because it's by association, right? So with Psyche, I was able to understand that, that's all okay. Um, I know that I'm not an evil person, but do I believe I'm not an evil person? Which is often different. So I was able to make changes and take away the stress and resistance that come with the ideas I've been taught. I've been taught about making a lot of money, and then I've been able to manifest different opportunities for myself to grow, because I would like a better life for myself. I'd like to afford more things and do things for my mom and myself and my partner. So then part of that is also making more money and also feeling good about it and happy that I am, you know. So those are two major things, as you know, that I've worked with and still work with in other different levels,
Yes.
step by step.
Fantastic. So, what would you say to somebody who's considering taking the Psyche journey?
Mm.
And if they're not sure?
The first thing that I realized was you have nothing to lose. That's the first thing. Accept that in your heart. You have nothing to lose. And with PSYCH-K, what you also have to understand is there's no harm that could ever come from PSYCH-K, because PSYCH-K works with yourself in a deeper level and also with superconscious, meaning whatever your concept or idea of God is. And if you believe your God is good to you, then PSYCH-K will ultimately be as well, because it works with superconscious too. Another thing is, try it once. If you have a facilitator near you, which surely you do, because as a master facilitator myself, we can work online. Try it. Have a session, try it. 1 or 2 or 3, depending on how the facilitator works, and experience it for yourself. That is the main thing, because we work ourselves up so much with many different thoughts and ideas and research that we don't understand it. And with PSYCH-K, if you look online, it's often not the full picture, because I understood this when I went to the workshop. There's so much depth that my research didn't do me justice. But actually trying it and experiencing it is what made me make the full change, to the point now where PSYCH-K is really a major, major tool of my everyday life. That's the main thing.
Wonderful. So if people want to connect with you, how can they connect with you? Give them your email address and,
Absolutely. My email address is probably the best way right now. It's mrngobe@gmail.com. That is where you'll reach me. That is where you get direct responses from me.
Fantastic. So guys, connect with Clinton. He's there, and especially at a time when it's not possible to be with other people. PSYCH-K, one of the things we teach is to be able to work with you online. So connect with Clinton, and get started. This is the time now to get started. Thanks, Clinton, and lots of love to you.
And Alma is one of the best instructors in the world if you want to do the course.
Oh,
putting it out there.
Thank you, Clinton. Keep